On. Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. It's nice to see so many people here. So this session is going to be on business organization and planning for success. So let's get started. Sorry. Process. Okay, so I'm Sinead and I am the founder of Task. So Task is a virtual assistant agency. I founded Task this time last year, just over a year ago. I was living in the UK for years, working for an Irish hotel group over there. My background is mostly in hospitality. I worked primarily in customer service and then finance. So that's what I was doing. I had the idea for a virtual assistant. Once the pandemic hit, I was worried, like everybody else, what's going to happen? What am I going to do if I lose my job? So I was trying to come up with other ideas and what I could do. So this virtual assistant thing popped up because I felt like my skills kind of lent to it. So when I moved home to Ireland, I thought, okay, now's the time, I'm going to do it. So I set it up and it's been a great success. So what I do is help small businesses and entrepreneurs to get organized in their business and be productive and work efficiently and effectively in all sorts of areas, if it's customer service or email management, bit of finance, whatever I can kind of do to help them. I feel like in my career, being organized and productive has really helped me to progress to, I started off working at reception of a hotel in London and I worked my way up to be an assistant FC financial controller with a team of 15. Purely from being super organized. I have always been this way in my work and it's really helped me to progress in my career. I use the example of I used to sit right next to a guy who was a qualified accountant, which I'm not, qualified accountant, and his desk looked like there had been a bomb of papers all the time. He was all over the place, like, you know, late and running behind on targets and schedule and everything. And he would be, you know, sitting there until 9 o'clock at night trying to get stuff done. And I was gone at 5:30, you know, like, and same workload, same amount of things to do, but just working in an efficient way. And he won't mind me using that example. He's a well-humored Frenchman, so it's all good. But just as an example for how being organized and working efficiently can really have a direct impact on your career and your business. So we're going to cover a couple of my main tips and tricks today. So what I want everyone to do is, I'm going to go to the next slide, get a piece of paper or your notebook or your phone, go to your notes or else open something on the side. And what I want you to do is jot down these 4 headings. So these are the topics that we're going to cover today. And I want you to kind of either put them in your notes or put them onto something, your notebook, just so you can get into that organized mindset and you're going to fill in your tips and tricks that you pick up then from the session. So the first one is going to be business organization. Then we're going to move on to outsourcing and teamwork, time management and to-do lists, and then admin solutions. Okay, so first is business organization. So when I talk about getting organized in business, it's all about workflow. It's all about having a workflow in place. It doesn't matter if you're running the business or you're working in a business, having a workflow for how your business runs or how your job, your tasks run throughout the day is so important. It's from, you know, how the start of your day until the end of your day, or it's from, you know, when your client or customer first finds your business, that first inquiry, to when you send them the invoice at the end. Having the steps laid out for how your workflow runs is so important. It saves you time. It means that you know exactly where that customer or client is at or where you're at with that task, systems that you can use to help you. So creating that workflow is so important when you're thinking about organization in your business. So what we're going to do is go through a few topics, a few tips that I use to implement an effective workflow within my business and have done when working for other businesses in the past. The number one thing that I always say to all of my clients and have always done in work is email management. Our number one form of communication within the corporate world and within work is emails. Now it is changing a bit. We're moving towards communicating on socials and using things like Slack or other chat features. However, emails is what it all comes back to. It's where the majority of our inquiries will come from and how we communicate with each other at work. But we're never taught how to actually manage your emails and use them to your benefit. So what I encourage people to do is to create folders or labels, depending on which email system you're using, and organize your emails. So once an email comes into your mailbox, deal with it, reply to it, and file it away. If you can't get to it right then, I would suggest creating an urgent and important folders. So things that are urgent, pop into your urgent folder. Try never to have more than 5 to 7 emails in here, because it's not realistic to get back to them all in one day if everything is urgent. And then important is things that you just need to keep your eye on and get back to. Putting them this way will mean that you're not overwhelmed with thousands of emails in your mailbox or hundreds of unread emails, and it means that you're keeping on top of things. There is a lot of talk about inbox zero, and I'm not saying that this has to be inbox zero, that you need to reply to everything within 2 minutes of it coming into your mailbox. It's just about being organized and categorizing things into where they belong. Another thing that's really beneficial to use with emails is if you start to see queries coming in regularly and they're, of a similar topic, you can create a folder for that topic and track the emails that are coming in. This is data that you can use then for your business. It's really important. So if you're, for example, running a business and you're selling dresses and you're continuously getting an email about a specific style, create a folder and track all of those emails. This is data that you can then use to grow your business and to analyze how your business is performing. So utilizing your mailbox is really important. There are some rules around replying to emails. It really depends on the type of service you're in. If you're in customer service, it is best practice to reply to emails within that working day at the latest. It really depends. If you are an entrepreneur and it's not possible for you to do that, I would suggest creating maybe an automatic reply, but make it very personable and not cold. And just say something like, I reply to all of my inquiries on a Tuesday. I will get back to you at the latest by this Tuesday. It sets the expectation for the person who's reached out to you, and it makes you feel less stressed because you know you haven't got a load of emails waiting for you and your automatic reply is done. The next thing then is creating templates. On most email systems, you can create templates. So when you go to create your email, you'll be able to choose an option for a pre-prepared template. Now, again, you have to be careful with these that they do have a personalized element to them. I would add something to the top line that shows a personalization to the person who's reached out to you, but then the rest of it can just be the reply that you're sending out to everyone. Over time in your work or in your business, your inquiries will start to become the same. So having a pre-prepared template is going to save you so much time. If someone inquires, hi, I'm interested in your business, can you send me some more information? It's not realistic to sit there for 10 minutes writing out everything about your business all over again. You can have this pre-prepared. The next thing is FAQs. So if you have a business, I would say put some FAQs in highlight on your socials or add an FAQ tab to your website. Another thing, if you're working for a business, you can have an FAQ template made for yourself and your role. So let's say you're working in accounts payable for a factory and you're getting inquiries and they're the same inquiries over and over. You can have a really nicely branded FAQ that you can attach to an email and send out to your clients. This is how we do invoices. This is when we need the PO and we'll send the invoices on this day. It just creates that efficiency within your role and it looks really professional. Service documents is next. This is things like pricing and packages, attachments that you can add to your email. So having these documents prepared and saved to your drive in advance so that when your inquiries come, your documents are all there, saved in the background, ready to attach, and you're not looking for things or trying to put things together last minute. You have something ready to go, branded up for your business. It's really, really beneficial and saves so much time. So the next thing then is SOPs. So whether you're running a business or you're working for a business, SOPs are super important. I'm on my own in this business and I have SOPs. Well, I have a new person started with me actually last week, but I have SOPs prepared for my business, because if you do have that person come in, or you do grow and have more of a team, it just means that the work is done in how you like things to be done, how your system runs. And again, if you're working for a big business, it means that if you leave that role, or if you get promoted or whatever it is, you already have that bank of how this job is done created. I have a direct example. This happened to me. I was working in a role within finance before, and I created a library of an SOPs on how to do my job. And I did screenshots of the system, and then, and this is how you raise an invoice. You go into create invoice, and then an arrow and a screenshot, and then you do this, and a full explanation on how to do everything. And then when I moved into a new role, it meant that I wasn't wasting time explaining to the new person how to do the job. It was there for them in a library that I had spent time creating. And it doesn't have to be a huge deal. You can do a little bit once a week and just add to it. But it really will help you in the future to save time and create that organized workflow within your business. So the results of being organized within your business: less stress, which we all want, increased productivity, and better results. So what I would like you to do actually is pick maybe one thing from this and put it under your heading of business organization that maybe you feel like you could implement in your business or at work. Okay. Next is outsourcing and teamwork. So I love this little saying: do what you do best and outsource the rest. So none of us can do everything. It's not possible. In some businesses, people might be happy to work on their own, but you will always need help with something. So I'm a big believer in teamwork, working with people. Everybody has unique skills that they can bring to your business. And if you're working in business as well, working with a team. So first thing is communication. Communicating with yourself and with others what you actually need help with. This is really important when you are considering outsourcing or growing your team or working with a team. So put down, I would say, on paper, maybe the top 5 pain points where you feel like you really need help and you're falling behind on things, or you're sitting there until midnight doing invoices. And it always does come back to accounts that people don't like to do themselves. But if it is something within your business that you don't particularly enjoy or isn't your main skill, and you'd like to put more time into your creativity, then make a list of like the top 5 things that you feel are kind of holding you back within your business. Communicate that clearly. And then that will give you a starting point for where you need to begin with, if it's outsourcing to a freelancer or if it maybe is growing your team. This will then allow for increased creativity within your business because you have that time. You suddenly have time that you didn't have before that you can now give back into your business. Collaboration, working with a freelancer or growing your team, like I said, is bringing in a new skill set into your business. And it is so rewarding to collaborate and see that growth within your business when you either outsource or bring someone else onto your team. It's really important to plan, create a to-do list for what you need help with, make it really clear the tasks that you want done and your expectation for them to be done. You might end up, bringing someone into your business and you're not really sure where you need help, or you're not sure what you want them to do. And you can't expect somebody to come in and have the same goals and values as you because they've just entered the business. So they're still learning. So planning out how you want, having your to-do list done for like their first couple of weeks. This is what I want done, and this is when I expect it to be done by. Super important when you're outsourcing or working with a team. And then delegation. Delegation is a tough one. When you are taking that step to outsource or work with a team, letting go of things can be difficult. And somebody might do something a little differently to you, and it can be really tough to hand the reins of a project or whatever it is within your business over to somebody else. So plan out, you know, what you want them to do, and then effectively delegate the task to them. And this ties back to SOPs. When you've got your SOPs in place, it makes it so much easier for your freelancer or your team member to know exactly your expectation, how this business works, how we reply to emails, how we deal with inquiries, how we raise an invoice, you know, all of these things. And then the results of effective outsourcing and teamwork is increased creativity within the business, building a community within your business, and in turn growth. Because if you have more people, more skills, it means growth for your business. Okay, so sorry. Go back to your notebook or your diary or wherever you've written down your headings. Pick one thing from here that you feel like you might be able to implement in your business. Okay, time management and to-do lists. So I am a big fan of Google Calendar, basically. I time block my whole week out on Google Calendar. Now, in what I'm doing, it's working with clients. So I put my clients' time that I'm going to work for them during the week, and then I pop in meetings and anything else that I have on around that. When I was working in my previous role, working with finance, managing a team, I used to also plan out my calendar. We used Outlook in that. It seems to be the system that a lot of corporates use. Right now, I use Google Workspace, which I really like. But whatever calendar you're using, take a bit of time. If it's on a Monday morning, plan out your week as best you can. Create that structure. Obviously, things will pop up. But when they do pop up, you will then default to popping it into your calendar. This creates a vision for you for the week. You can see how your week is planned out. It just takes away a bit of that stress of feeling like you have so much to do and you don't know when you're going to do it. Allocating specific time to the tasks that you need to get done during the week will really help you to feel better. Then creating effective to-do lists. So there is no point in having a to-do list with 150 things on it, which I know is possible, but it's just not going to work. So effective to-do lists. So a daily to-do list. The calendar is for weekly, 2 weekly, monthly. To-do list I would do daily. So you can create them however you like. I actually have multiple to-do lists because I have a to-do list per client, and then I have a to-do list kind of for a task, and then maybe one for myself. And that might seem strange, but it does break up my tasks into realistic blocks. There might only be like 2 or 3 things then on each list, and it means that I feel like I can actually do them, I can get them done. There's lots of different systems that you can use for to-do lists. Personally, I use Google Keep because I've got the workspace package, but you can just use the notes on your phone as well if you want to, you know, and just having those separate to-do lists and making them realistic. Stick to your schedule is the next bit. So it's all well and good to plan out your week and create your to-do list, but then if you go off and just do your own thing and completely ignore your calendar, it defeats the purpose, and it's not going to help you at all. So actually try to stick to your schedule and make it realistic. If you've planned out your calendar and you're working solidly from 8 to 7 or 8 to 6 or whatever, it's not realistic. You need to go and get a coffee and have lunch, and you know, you might have a phone call or a meeting or something pop up. So give yourself breaks within the day. I feel like now that we're working from home, a lot of us, when I worked in the office, I felt like you got structured breaks, whereas when you're working from home, you have to kind of create that for yourself. So it is important to put in those slots and make your week and your schedule realistic. Add notes to calendar entries. So once you pop something into your calendar, whether it's a meeting or in person, you could pop in like the address and quick maybe bullet points on what you want to discuss at the meeting, or if it's on Zoom or Teams or whatever, popping the link into your actual calendar. That means that when it comes time for the event to happen and you're frantically searching through your emails for the Zoom link, it's there already in your calendar. And Then as well, another thing that I use for one-to-one sessions with clients is Calendly. This is a website that you can hook up to either the back of your own website, or you can set up your own Calendly and then you can share the link with people. So let's say I email you and I say, are you free for a meeting this week? Here's my Calendly. You can book in a time that suits you best. The Calendly is linked up to Zoom already. So when that client books the time that I've allocated that's free, they'll just immediately get the Zoom link. It all is linked to each other. So it's just about utilizing those features that you can use. It's all time saving. You can set this all up in advance. You know, you can use this in corporate or wherever you work as well. If somebody wants to book a meeting with you, I wish I had actually Calendly when I worked in corporate before, because there was so many meetings and I could have pre-planned out my week and had slots available for meetings rather than trying to squeeze things in last minute. So I would definitely look into Calendly if you haven't already. And then the results of effective time management, again, less stress. A lot of being organized in business is to bring that stress level down and just feeling like you're on top of things and you haven't missed anything and everything is fine. So less stress, increased productivity, and no overtime. I am not a believer in overtime. I never have been with my team. I feel like we work enough and we can get done what we need to do by working efficiently and using all of these tools to increase productivity. So if you write down one thing from here that you feel like you could implement in your business or at work, so if it's, you know, even starting to use a calendar or, you know, creating those multiple to-do lists rather than one long list, you know, tasking them out, have a look at that and add something to your list. Okay, next bit is admin solutions. So what systems are best for getting organized? I always say to my clients and to whoever we're working with, keep it simple. There's so many systems out there now, it can be overwhelming in what to use. Do I use Trello or Asana or, you know, all of these Dubsado or all of these project management tools? It can be very overwhelming, and then trying to marry them all together can just get messy and you end up being disorganized, which is obviously not what you want. So what I use is Google Workspace. I am like a spokesperson for Google Workspace. It is excellent. It's got all of the features that you need for a small business. Or like I said, if you're working in corporate, a lot of them use Outlook. Outlook has a lot of similar features to Workspace as well. So I would really recommend that. It's got your emails, calendar, to-do list. It's called Keep. Google Keep is the to-do list that I use. You've got the Drive as well. When you're saving files for your business, I definitely recommend using a cloud. And I use Google Drive. It's safe, secure. You have to use a password to log in. It saves time because if you're creating an email and you want to attach a file, you've got that direct link to the Drive. You can also use the share feature to share files with clients. So that's Google Workspace. Then for projects and collaboration, Trello or Airtable are quite good as well for planning projects, working together, creating to-do lists. Both of those options are quite good. As well, then I've included here newsletters, Flowdesk and MailChimp. These are two newsletter systems that I've worked with. They're both really nice. I've added these to admin solutions because it's the time-saving element of it that can be really helpful if you need to contact a lot of your, you know, past or current clients or whatever it is. It means that you have like a branded up newsletter that you can send out to everybody at once, and it's time-saving. So that's that. And then we have as well, I've included Xero, Stripe and Excel. So in business, it's accounting does come up over and over that people are like bogged down by. Xero is an accounting system that small businesses and entrepreneurs can use, or big businesses. I know accountants that are using Xero now. It's a really good system, and it's kind of for all. You can link up your bank account to it. You can create branded invoices, and then you can link payment system to it. So if you send an invoice to a client, they've got the option to pay with card or by bank transfer. So either one of those they're really helpful. I've got Xero and I've got Stripe linked up to my website. So if somebody books a one-to-one call with me, they receive their Zoom link and they pay via Stripe, all in just like 2 clicks. So it's so time saving. And then the other thing is good old Excel. Everybody hates Excel except for me, I feel like. But Excel is brilliant if you don't want to go down the road of having an accounting system. Excel, I would encourage you to use it. You can use it within Google if you want to use Sheets, or you can do separate Excel files if you want to, but track your invoices and track client queries or client inquiries, to-do lists. There's so many different things that you can do with it. Once you kind of learn how to use it a small bit, it's so beneficial to your business. So for invoicing purposes, if you don't want to have an accounting system, I would definitely recommend using Excel and track your invoices by invoice number. And even if you're only on your own or just starting out, definitely do use invoice numbers. It's a way of just keeping track of your invoices between you and your client. It's that common I suppose just common feature, so that you can make sure that things are paid. And then once things are paid, do mark them off on your systems as well. This all together benefits your overall business organization. It means that you're invoicing clients on time, you know that you're collecting payment on time, you're not months down the line trying to catch up on things. So that's what I would recommend for when it comes to accounts. And yeah, like I said, keep it simple. There's so many different systems now. Try and use what you can within what you have. Like there's chat features now within Google as well. There's an option called Spaces, which is like their play on Slack, that you can use to collaborate with your team, share files. So yeah, and basically don't end up too busy in your business to work on your business. A lot of the time we can end up so busy doing everything that we're not actually working on ourselves or our career or our business as much as we would like to, because we're spending so much time doing things that ultimately could be done faster, more efficiently, more effectively, or by somebody else. If it comes to needing to outsource or grow your team, you could hand something over to somebody else. And it's kind of tracking what's going on within your business, bring it back to the Excel, having the data, using data to understand what is actually going on, where do you need the support, what things are coming up over and over, if it's coming in through emails or through inquiries or whatever it is, and you feel like I could really do with a hand with just replying to inquiries even. All of these services, are the amount of freelancers now that are out there working independently that can assist businesses is amazing. I think the pandemic has really pushed people to, go out there on their own if it's alongside their current job, and put their skills out there and offer support to businesses. Now you can, if it's from social media management to accountants are now virtual, and there's solicitors you can work with virtually, anyone you can work with online, which is just amazing. So yeah, there's support there for so many businesses, and everybody works flexibly now, so you don't have to take on somebody full-time to work in your business. They can do hourly bits and pieces. So it's just analyzing what is going on within your business. Am I managing on my own? Can I implement any of these solutions? And yeah, if you want to write down one thing from here that maybe you'd like to implement in your business, so you should have hopefully 4 things written down now. that you can go away this afternoon. And the reason I asked you to jot down, whether it's on paper or on your phone in your notes or something, is just, you can sit here and listen to what I'm saying, you know, but unless you take action alongside, it won't resonate really, you know. And it's the same thing with the to-do list and the calendar and planning the workflow. You can think it in your mind, but unless you actually implement it, put those appointments in, start using a to-do list, start using your calendar, that's when you really will see the change. That's when you really do have slots of time available to work on yourself or your business. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I would love if people had a few questions for me. If you want to, if anybody wants to ask a question, or if you want me to go back over anything, or if you want to look at any of the slides again, then let me know.
Sinead, that was brilliant. Well done. I thought that was so good, so informational. I just said there in the chat, I have about 17 things written down, not just 4.
Oh, gee. I can't see the chat actually. Where is it? Anyway, I'll look in a minute. Yeah, do you have a question?
I do. So I guess what I struggle with, and you did touch on it a few times during the workshop, was I struggle with accounts and invoicing, and we have Xero, and Xero is amazing, but it's more the actual effort of going and reconciling and, you know, sending out invoices. It's just another job on top of everything else that we do. So my question is, firstly, is there a way to automate that? And secondly, if not, is that a service that you provide?
Yeah. So yes, you can automate invoices on Xero. If you have a client on a retainer and you're charging them the same amount every month or something, you know, that's just an example, you can set up a recurring invoice on Xero. So it will send out itself every month. Another thing I would say is when it comes to reconciliation and like I totally understand that, you know, a bank payment might come through and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're like, oh, I don't know what this is for. You know, when you are sending that invoice to your client, ask them, when you're making your bank transfer, can you please put Kate on your transfer or invoice number 678? And then that reconciliation goes from being, you know, you're searching everywhere looking for what invoices is for, to like being extremely clearly that one, and it takes, you know, 30 seconds instead of, you know, 10 minutes or something trying to find it. So it's all about those small things. And also, yes, yeah, Task can do invoicing and work with Xero.
Amazing. Thank you.
Does anyone else have a question? I don't know where Sarah has gone, but does anyone want to ask anything like in relation to your specific business, or what systems you use, or what would I recommend?
I know you mentioned Airtable as well, Sinead. What is that?
It's like a project collaboration tool, kind of like you can use it for like planning out content, or you know, you can do like a collaboration. It's quite like Trello. But yeah, no, it's nice. It's kind of like a color coded system and nice to use.
I must look it up.
Yeah, that's good.
Great, thanks so much, Sinead. That was really informative. I know I have loads of stuff written down here.
Yeah.
I'm the most unorganized person on the planet.
Did everybody manage to write down something maybe that you can implement in your business or at work?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just looking at the chat. Focus on it, improve on. Amazing. Thank you, everyone.
So I've just popped a link to a quick survey into the chat, guys. I'd appreciate if you all fill it out. It's just collecting some data for a few programs that we participate in, and if you fill it out, usually we do a raffle at the end of the month for anyone who fills out the form, just to get a free day pass to come into Republic of Work. I've also popped my email into the chat. If anyone has any Republic of Work related questions, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you. So thanks so much to Sinead again for today. Really, really informative. and this session will be available on YouTube afterwards as well. So if anyone wants to go back over it, or if anyone would like the slides directly, just get on to me. I'm sure Sinead wouldn't mind sharing them.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks a million, guys.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Sinead. Bye.
Bye.